So we're back on the Business Zone with
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Now, Crystal, who do we have in the studios today?
Oh, we are very honored today to have the real McCoy salesperson. I don't think I've met someone that embraces sales like this since I was in corporate America.
This is his passion.
This is his
This
passion.
is what he breathed.
I have one other friend that's like him, and I actually think they speak or have been part of the same speaking bureau that's very much like that as well. But we have Mr. Gil Cargill today, and he is one of the top 6 sales and marketing management speakers in the country. He has spent the past 36 years as a consultant, speaker, and trainer helping thousands of businesses achieve dramatic and permanent improvements in sales production. Since 1978, Cargill Consulting Group has worked with over 5,000 business-to-business sales forces. They recognize that sales, in particular, sales management, is one of the most least formally controlled components of most business organizations. So he's here today to talk about. We're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about closing deals. We're going to talk about how not to talk yourself out of the sale. And we're going to talk about how we increase our revenues from a small business standpoint.
Well, welcome to the Business Zone.
Great to be here. Really appreciate it.
Glad to have you. So, Gil, tell us, one, how you got into this field, and how do we, because I know you do mostly, is it Fortune 500s or just corporation type?
My smallest client is a one-man band.
Oh.
And my largest client is a Fortune 100. So
Okay.
I span the gamut.
Wow.
Okay.
My motto is if they have a check that won't bounce, then they're qualified.
Well, that's a good criteria.
I like that.
I got into sales way back in the 1960s.
Okay.
I took a normal high school football player's summer job in 63 in a steel mill. And my first day there, they had a tragic accident, and I saw a man incinerated.
Oh.
And the foreman came over to me and offered me a promotion to that recently vacated position.
And there was all kinds of incentives to do that,
for
right?
a nickel an hour. So I set an Olympic record running in high-top shoes and grabbed the paper and saw an ad that said earn $10,000 a month. Now, in 1963, that was a lot of money.
Right.
So I said, this is the job for me because I needed a new Corvette. Didn't have a driver's license, but I needed a Corvette.
You needed it, though, right?
I needed it. And I didn't know what the phrase at the bottom of the ad meant when it said commission only. But I knew that was the job for me.
Okay.
And I went in and I got hired. And I asked the boss, when do I get my $10,000? And he said, as soon as you sell something. And I said, what does that mean? I was 16.
Okay.
And it was selling vacuum cleaners door to door.
Oh,
Wow.
And I was blessed, in my opinion, to learn by accident what I'm here to do before I could drive a car. So a lot of my peers looked for their careers, and I found mine before I got out of high school.
Wow.
Now, the secret, and I want your audience to pay attention to this, I was 16 years old, but before management would allow me to talk to a customer, I had to recite their presentation from memory.
Oh, wow.
And when I go out shopping, when my wife and I go to stores, and we ask questions of people in the store where we want to do business, and they don't know what they're talking about, it's off-putting. So my message to your audience, and I don't care who you sell to or what you sell, practice your presentation. This is especially true with your members of your business development program that are working in government contracts.
Right.
If you go into a government buyer's office, I don't care how qualified you are. I don't care how good your prices are. I don't care how good your products are. If you go in there mumbling and stumbling, if you're disorganized, if you don't know how to present your value proposition,
Right.
then you will be behind the 8 ball regardless of what you do.
Right.
And so many entrepreneurs tell me, hey, Gil, I had the best product. I knew I was a better price, and I didn't get the deal. Well, it wasn't price that turned them off. It was the lack of perceived value.
That's right.
And perceived value is directly proportionate to how well you present. So I see thousands of entrepreneurs every year that have never spent 5 minutes, 5 minutes practicing their presentation. If you don't present well, you can't close. All you can do is beg and hope. So a message to your audience is let's make sure we practice with our smartphone. I see you have yours on a tripod. That is the best sales coach you can hire. Present to the smartphone, record yourself, and then look at it. So you don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to go anywhere to know whether you have a lot of ums and ahs and incorrect grammar.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or cool. So,
and you're absolutely right, because every month Recycle Black Dollars, we have a breakfast mixer, right? And so everyone gets an opportunity at the end or sometime in the beginning to do a 30-second commercial.
Okay.
And I tell you, when the time you're like, okay, you're hitting the bell. We even have 30 seconds. You should be able to encapsulate what you do, at least an appetizer, or a cliff note of what you do in 30 seconds. And it goes on forever and ever. And once you get past the 30 seconds, most people have disconnected from you. They don't care what you do. Just will you please hush?
Let's say my term for that exercise is create an elevator pitch.
Right.
And an elevator pitch is a speech that must be able to be delivered in a 2-story elevator ride in 30 seconds. Now, the secret sauce is the first words out of your mouth have to be very strong, and almost, if we were in New Orleans, I'd have to say bodacious.
Okay.
So if I'm running a contracting business and I remodel kitchens, then the first sentence is going to say, I work with homeowners to significantly increase the value of their home. Or my typical customer sees a $100,000 increase in the value of their home. I'm saying a very loud, aggressive, bodacious statement because I want the prospect's brain to go, how does he do that?
That's a carrot that you dangle in front of them.
As soon as they say mentally, how do you do that? You now have permission to go into depth. But you've got to get that first message in less than 30 seconds. Some studies say it's like 11 or 12. But it's great practice, and if they aren't willing to invest the practice, then I say get out of business. Because you're not in business, you're hoping for success. And the tragedy is so many brilliant men and women fail because they've never done the blocking and tackling. As an old football coach of mine, you've got to do the fundamentals and the basics, and they miss out on that. So we exist to help people realize their dreams by selling better. And if you have a mediocre product but a superior marketing and sales campaign, you'll not only make a living, but you'll beat your competitors who have better products.
So beside the elevator pitch, what are some strategies that you use within your organization with businesses and entrepreneurs?
Well, my average client increases their sales by 36%. Our record is about a 75% increase. And that's because we've learned a technique that I developed to identify sales process bottlenecks. When you stop and think about it, selling is like manufacturing. We manufacture customers, we manufacture transactions, contracts, and cash. So we understand and examine the process that exists. We identify the bottlenecks and we remove them. And I'm extremely excited in that next week we're launching a new software product that my niece, Jessica Cargill, our Chief Technology Officer, created called Sales Copilot. And this is the first application of technology to process management. It's not a CRM. It's not a database. It actually incorporates the intelligence that I and my coaches use into a device in your pocket that is your sales manager or your sales coach in your pocket. So we're excited about getting the Copilot launched, and it's designed for the micropreneur, that's the man or woman that's working out of their bathroom, trying to make it happen, on up through large sales forces. And it's the process orientation that's our secret sauce. Eliminate the bottlenecks, or my nickname for it is the sales prevention department.
So will this program, will it have a demo that we can go online and check it out and see what it's all about?
Absolutely. You need to contact me. It's going live next week, so you can't do it today, but next week we can. Okay. And tremendously excited about what my niece has put together.
So what are the core tool sets in that? How does it actually work?
It works based on the principles that I developed. There are 5 metrics that you need to manage to be successful, consistently successful. The first metric is the number of first meetings. If you are not meeting any new people, you're not going to be selling at some point down the road.
Right.
And too often, I hear people say, I don't like to meet people. I don't like to make phone calls. I don't like getting up in front of strangers.
So then they're in the wrong business.
No, they're not. Because in today's world, you can meet all the strangers you ever want to meet using cold email. And this is cold email, not cold calling.
Right.
And what I teach is send out the email to strangers, wait for them to call you. Because everybody is comfortable talking to strangers when they call you.
Right.
That's metric number 1. Metric number 2 is dollars per transaction. All too often, salespeople and or entrepreneurs discount because they feel that discounting creates friends. Now, a second significant blessing in my sales life was going to work for IBM in 1970. Our rules were if you discounted 1 dime, you got fired. Straight up.
Wow.
So we had to sell for the published price, and that prevented me from ever learning how to discount, so I still don't discount.
So let me put this out there, because I receive tons of emails every day, some of them from these Nigerians trying to rip me off and trying to sell me all this stuff. So when I see an email that I don't recognize, I just quickly delete. So with that person who doesn't like to call, but they want to send out those emails, they're not going to get someone like me. So how does that work?
That's probably very true. Never make a marketing decision based on your individual prejudices. I hate getting unsolicited email, but I send out 180,000 emails every week because I like cash.
So how does that work, though? Because part of the reason...
all I want is 1/10 of 1%, and I'm making money.
See, part of the reason I don't access those emails, because they have some of those emails, when you click on it, it just takes over your computer.
That's spam.
Right. And but it's embedded in the link that you get in the email. So
and that's one of the reasons why I have an outstanding email campaign if I get a 2.5% response. So I'm not looking for home runs.
Right.
And it costs very little money to get the emails out the door.
Right.
And I wait for people to call me. Now, I love cold calling. I love speaking. But I'm busy serving my existing clients, and I couldn't say, Crystal, if you were one of my clients and you were paying me a retainer, I couldn't come over to your office and say, oh, well, hold that thought. I need to make cold calls.
Right.
So I have to prospect at the same time I'm selling and serving.
I believe you, and the reason I believe you, because I get the same email like 5 times a day, every day of a week. So I guess they're trying to wear me down. They figure eventually I'll just give in and say, let me check it out.
Nothing works all the time for everybody.
Right.
It's all about the numbers. It's all about tenacity and consistency.
Yes.
My dad was one of the Tuskegee Airmen, and he taught me how to be tenacious. He also taught me how to fly, and flying airplanes is my passion. But he had a saying that knocked me off of my chair when I was probably in junior high school. I was about to quit something that I didn't like doing.
Yeah.
And he said, have you ever heard the story about the man that first man to attempt to swim the English Channel? And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, nobody has. He got halfway to France, figured out he couldn't make it, and swam back. So the entrepreneurs that quit halfway to France ruin their life. It's same amount of effort to go back to where you came from as to keep going.
Now, I use, so I get a lot of emails, and I have actually 2 email accounts. So one that's all spam, it goes to another account, which I don't access very often. So my main business one I do. But what I do is I think that Facebook has come up with an incredible way with their marketing tool that, one, and this is invasive in a sense, but when I'm looking for webinars, or if I'm looking to say I'm about to do webinars, whatever it is I'm looking for, it pops up in my Facebook, right? And usually it's a free webinar that I will have to subscribe into. And now the emails that are coming to me are those emails that are specific to the things that I'm interested in. So I've bought into that. So I get some incredible, I did a blog just recently, a post on the 22 amazing tools that I use to manage 4 businesses.
Perfect.
And it came because of me connecting with those emails or those ads on Facebook, because they have been really, really vital.
You became a permission subscriber.
Right.
I cold email to get subscribers.
Right.
Once they have allowed me to send them more email, then I will educate them. And the secret is stay top of mind. Never let them forget about you.
Right.
If you're running a dry cleaner and the customer comes in and gets a suit cleaned, thank them, take their money, and get their name. Because if you don't stay in touch, you're allowing them to forget about you.
And go to the competition.
Go next door, exactly.
Right.
On the other hand, if you educate and offer value, then they'll go, next time I need my suit cleaned, I think I'll go back to your place.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll give you a try.
Right.
And most entrepreneurs fail because they don't market well. Sales is the back end of marketing.
Yeah.
And Crystal, you said something very important. Remember, all marketing starts with an interruption. I must interrupt you to get your brain aligned with me.
Right.
Once I've interrupted, I have to engage you. And if I don't have an engagement, then the interruption's wasted. The third step is I must educate you. Here's the value you'll receive when you buy from me, when you come to my restaurant, when you get your copier from my company. And the fourth step to that is I must give you a seductive offer that you can't resist. Not a discount, but a free workbook, a free seminar, some education. Now you and I have a relationship, and I can pepper you with educational material.
Yeah.
I never send out anything with a price. That's against the law, one, and it's tacky, too. And I never pitch a product. I always educate the customer so that when the customer is at the right place, they'll say, I need to talk to Gil. And that's all I really want my marketing to do.
That's fantastic.
So your win rate with this currently is what, like 2%?
I measure 2 metrics. One is called MQL and the other one is SQL. MQL are marketing qualified leads. These are the men and women who respond and say, I'm interested.
Yeah.
But they're not interested right now.
Okay, so they could be the 7%ers. In marketing, you've got 5 categories, right?
They're the ones you're going to have to nurture.
Exactly.
Okay, the SQL are give or take 3% of all the respondents.
Right.
So if I get 100 respondents, I'm going to have 3 sales qualified leads.
Right.
I have to talk to all of them.
Yeah.
And I have to talk to all of them professionally.
Yeah.
But the 97 that aren't sales qualified are the ones I'm going to nurture.
Yeah.
And then roughly 60% of those will convert into transactions within 6 to 18 months.
Okay.
And please notice that time frame.
Yeah,
6 to 18
that's
months.
a long process.
So many people say, man, France is so far away.
Yeah.
I'm swimming home.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a process. You got to be committed.
It's totally a
and I think that's what happens a lot. That people get impatient because it's not happening right now, right? But you have to kind of what they call prime the pump.
You got to prime the pump. And in your program, I'm happy to hear that you're helping people develop marketing plans and sales plans. Because the plan has to say, I'm not going to get rich next week.
Right.
Right.
Anybody that thinks they're going to get rich next week is engaged in some consumption of illegal consumption.
and actually, and Gilbert and I talked about this last week. If you did have that hit product, right, are you able to handle the masses of sales if that were to happen like that, right?
A lot of people failed because they were successful.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because you had Oprah said you were one of her favorite items, and then the next day you got phone calls coming out, and you can't fill the orders. So now you fail, right? Because eventually, what's going to happen? You're going to get frustrated. The people are going to get upset, and it's so funny because I had a young lady that was in a class of mine developing her business plan. So she had a product, and we kept saying, well, where's the prototype? And she goes, well, I need the money from the sales, because she wanted a website built. She didn't have a prototype, right? So she wanted to sell it, an image of it, and she had some sort of made-up prototype, but not a real one. Whoa. And she wanted to sell it on the internet to get the money to be able to pay for the prototype.
See, what she really wanted was an investor to fund the creation of a beta product.
Exactly. Right, but she was going to sell it one at a time. I said, so when they go to click in for your product, where you going to send them like the next day?
That's when they said, it takes 6 weeks to get to you. And then she tried to get that money to purchase it within that time.
So it's the concepts, right? It's the understanding what that really means. You got to have a real product, a tangible product that you can sell.
And you have to be able to deliver on the time frame you promise.
Right.
16 weeks is okay if you say that up front.
Yeah. Right.
But if they believe it's going to be next week, and you say, we've had a little problem, and as soon as the bank funds it, we can ship. It's too late.
So this your new IT product is going to help that small micro business
to follow that. It's the sales manager they can't afford to buy.
Oh, okay.
So it's very inexpensive, runs on all smartphones, tablets, or whatever, and it's got 40 years of my experience as a fractional VP of sales, helping 7,000 businesses optimize their top line. And it's all in an online device that says, okay, it's Monday morning. Here's what we need to do this week.
Oh, I like that.
Is it going to be a one-time purchase, or is it going to be a subscription
monthly recurring revenue subscription?
Okay. So
I need a jet.
I hear that. Yeah, I want one too. So do you have a price point?
$97 per month per company, per sales rep.
Okay.
That's not bad.
So each sales rep will use that tool with his clients.
Right.
Okay, I see. So the tool is not for the public like us, it's for the sales rep.
It's for the sales rep.
Oh, I see.
They're happy to take your money.
Yeah, because I was getting excited going, wow, maybe I should get that tool. I need to get Small Biz Pro out there.
Well, you're trying to sell ads.
Yeah.
So if you would hire my sales co-pilot, you would essentially have my intelligence in your pocket coaching you to sell advertising.
Yeah. So, well, we're two-dimensional. We're trying to sell ads on here, but I also have this program, Small Biz Pro, which is a business management
trying to sell enrollments in Small Biz Pro.
There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
The system can handle an infinite number of product lines.
Okay.
Our terminology is advertising is one product line.
Okay.
And Small Biz Pro is the second one.
Okay.
You can have a third one selling chairs or copiers or whatever you'd like.
Right. That sounds good.
It's exciting.
Good. And that actually could be something if we were doing that when because we got to bring on someone to actually sell
exactly. And they could use that tool.
And use that tool. And then so it gives them a guideline, right?
Well, not only gives them a guideline, here's a little bit of, I don't know if you are familiar with boxing history.
A little bit.
Remember Joe Louis?
Yes.
Well, when he was fighting the German for the heavyweight championship, this was just before World War II. There was a lot of racism and hatred and horrible stuff. And the promoters decided to give the German an advantage by building the biggest boxing ring ever.
So he can run.
Exactly. And the news writers, reporters, took Joe Louis to the arena to look at the ring. And they said, hey, Joe, that's a big ring out there, and this guy Schmeling can really run. How are you going to deal with that? And Lewis looked at him and said, yep, there's a lot of room out there, but I don't see anywhere for him to hide. We've got built into the software for the owners of the company reports that eliminate the ability of a salesperson to not tell the truth regarding what they're doing.
I like that.
So every Monday morning, you would get a report in your email that says, here's what Charlie was supposed to do last week, and here's what Charlie
Actually
didn't do. Right, exactly. So accountability.
No place to hide. Total accountability.
That's really, really good. And that's something.
That.
And that's because and I think small businesses, that would be great for them.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what happens.
They can't hire a sales manager.
Yeah.
Right.
A good sales manager is going to cost $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's some businesses that don't produce that revenue.
Right.
And the problem is, if you don't have good sales management, you'll never go above $200,000. So we have how to hire people, how to write comp plans, how to terminate people. Everything that I would do if you hired me full time is in your smartphone now.
Oh, really?
That's fantastic.
That's great. That sounds good.
Because when you're wearing all the hats, when you're the founder,
the chief cook and bottle washer.
Right.
And there are no universities that offer a 4-year diploma in sales management.
No.
Marketing management, yes. But not how to recruit, hire, train, coach, deploy salespeople.
Right.
So the most vital function of a business is taking those sales qualified leads and turning them into contracts. And there's no training in any United States university for a manager to do that. So it's always learn on the job. But now you're betting your house, your future, and everything else. And that's scary, and it doesn't need to be.
So part of your system, does it also teach that salesperson how to do those emails that you were talking about
earlier? Absolutely. I call it sales on my online sales academy.
Yeah.
Push a button, and then a table of contents appears. Cold email, click it, watch it, and apply it.
Oh, beautiful.
That's fantastic.
That's beautiful.
It's everything I've done in 40 years in the smartphone.
So tell me about sorry to interrupt you, but I'm getting drawn into this. Tell me about you said your daughter or your niece?
Jessica Cargill.
So what's her background and what makes her want to pursue that?
Her grandfather, my father, was a genius mathematician in addition to an aviator.
Oh.
And our family believes she's got Dad's genes because calculus did a number on me. But Jessica went to school, got a degree in computer management and programming and whatever, and has been challenged in the Ohio economy to get a job. So Felice and I were back visiting, and just a casual conversation, I said, hey, can you write some software? And she said, sure. And I said, can you make it do this, that, and the other thing? And she said, sure. And my wife and my sister-in-law were whispering in her ear, make them pay you, make them pay you.
So did you pay her?
I've been paying her every Friday.
And, well, it looks like you guys could become super rich.
We're going to, absolutely. She keeps the software working. I'm going to sell the heck out of it, and we're going to get the jet the Cargills need.
Now, how is your program different than Salesforce?
Salesforce tells you what you did. I tell you what you need to do to hit your pre-established goals.
That's
and I tell you how to do it. So one is lagging indicators.
Yeah.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't care about what happened. I can't fix it.
Yeah.
I care about what's going to happen.
There's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Now, you have video for every module. Is that what is it?
There's over 75 hours of video in your smartphone.
See, that's a differentiator right there.
Big time.
That's a differentiator. Because many of these programs, they don't have videos to guide you.
Yeah, you have to go somewhere else, and then you have to figure.
You type in what you did. I tell you, okay, based on what you did, and Jessica worked up the algorithms for this. Based on what you did, here's what you need to do to hit your goal at the end of the year. Very much like my father taught me to fly. I don't worry about the mountains that are in back of me. I worry about the mountains that are in front of me. I worry, do I have enough fuel to get where I want to go? That's called sales qualified leads.
That's right.
I want to worry if I have a headwind or crosswinds. Those are unknown competitors or situations. So the germ of the idea, I have to give to my father the credit for that. But the coding all came from Jessica. I've been giving her I'm not a programmer. I just said I wanted to do this. And tomorrow morning it does
that. That's amazing. And have it in-house.
Exactly.
And related to you.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
We got so excited about this, we forgot to take a break. So.
Right, and then Gil has to leave. He has a phone call.
Yeah.
But Gil, we would love to, we'll talk offline, but we're galvanizing these people for small business with our management.
Yes.
This would be great if we had you come in and do that, and we'll bring and then one can sell your product.
Yeah,
happy to.
And then at two, helping them, because that's a vital void in our small micro businesses.
So we could design a workshop around that.
Around that,
your product.
All we need is the date, and I'll be there.
Okay. Well, we'll work on the
great.
date. We'll work on the date the first of the year.
I am very excited. I can't wait to see it in action.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we hire our salesperson, we may be one to definitely be a client.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
The downside is that you would go through the repetition of the pain you've had, and I forgot to mention, I guarantee that you'll be satisfied with the results.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay.
That's what you call USP right there. Unique selling proposition.
Yes.
Because once you're guaranteeing.
Right, exactly. So I hope our audience has gotten it. I tell you, he's a real McCoy,
I'm
right?
telling you, I'm hooked right now. I'm hooked. I want to hear more.
Gilbert is like all wide and bushy. Usually it's like maybe this is late in the afternoon, but he is excited.
Asleep,
right,
but
exactly.
this time, this is great.
Yeah,
It's good
so that's
information.
fantastic.
My pleasure.
So you want to tell the audience how they can reach you?
Absolutely. You can contact me at Gil, at gilcargill.com. That's GILCARGILL.com. Or call me at 310-447-4102. Have a great day and go sell somebody something.
All right. And then I think we should have Gil on when we do our next show.
Yes, we should.
At the West Hollywood station.
Yeah, we
Love
should.
to. Just to be the date.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a part of that?
You bet.
Well,
Yeah.
consider yourself on. We'll let you know the date.
Yeah.
And we'll make it happen.
And that'll probably be right when you're ready to launch in. So that way, that's a bigger market. It's a large marketplace.
Every time we can talk, we can have an opportunity to improve.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Sounds
thank you
great.
so much, Gil, for coming on the show. And we will definitely be working toward a relationship and
sure.
and doing some good stuff together.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very
good
much,
one.
So you've been watching the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert and Mr. Gil. And this has been a great show on marketing and sales techniques. So we're going to go ahead and take a break right now and bring in our next guest as well on the show. So let's take a break.
All right.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't